Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hamida Butaleb, and I am currently a student at Sunway University. I am enrolled in the subject MED 1084 Trends and Futures in Digital Learning. Today, I'll be presenting my critical review on the topic exploring the impact of generative AI on teaching and learning, where I analyze three recent studies that explore how AI is shaping the future of education. Artificial intelligence has become a major influence in the field of education, reshaping how we teach, learn, and interact with content. One of the most transformative developments is generative AI, which uses technologies like GPT and large language models (LLM) to create personalized, adaptive learning experiences tailored to individual student needs. The importance of AI lies in its ability to support individualized learning, making education more inclusive and responsive. However, the adoption of AI in education is influenced by several factors, including digital literacy, teacher readiness, infrastructure, and institutional support. In this presentation, I aim to analyze how these digital concepts are being implemented and what implications they hold for the future of teaching and learning. Analysis of technological concept provides an overview of the three key studies I analyzed in this review, each focusing on a different aspect of AI in education. First study by Taylor et al. 2024 explores the ethical and policy consideration of AI adoption. It emphasized the importance of human oversight and the need for clear institutional guidelines to ensure responsible use. The second study by Bayer et al. 2025 examines the cognitive impact on AI on learning. Using the ESR model, it highlights the importance of instructional design and warns against over-reliance on AI, which could hinder student engagement and critical thinking. The third study by Kimons et al. 2025 analyzed trends in educational technology by reviewing over 11,000 articles. It shows how generative AI and big data are shaping both research and classroom practices, while also raising concern about academic integrity and the need for digital literacy. Together, these studies offer a comprehensive view of how AI is being implemented in education and the implication it brings for teaching, learning, and policy. Ethical AI adoptions highlights the first study by Infantella and colleagues. Published in 2024, their research focused on ethical and policy dimension of integrating AI into education. The study emphasized the importance of keeping humans in the loop, meaning that AI should support but not replace educators. This approach helps maintain academic integrity and learner autonomy. Using a Delphi method with 33 international experts, the study identified three key criteria for ethical AI adoptions: fair implementation, reliable algorithms, and responsible data use. These findings underline the need for strong institutional policies and legal frameworks to guide AI deployment. Ultimately, the study calls for inclusive collaboration among educators, policymakers, and technologists to ensure AI is used ethically and effectively in educational settings. So the diagram presents a simplified AI adoption framework in education, highlighting the key factors that influence successful integration of AI technologies. So policy, clear institutional and national policy are essential to guide ethical and effective AI use. Reliable internet, hardware, and software are foundational for any AI implementation. And the teacher readiness, educators really need training and confidence to use AI tools meaningfully in their teaching. Both students and teachers must develop the skills to critically engage with AI-generated content in digital literacy. Institutions must establish frameworks to address issues like data privacy, bias, and academic integrity in ethical guidelines. These elements must work together to ensure that AI adoption is not only technologically feasible but also pedagogically sound and ethically responsible. Cognitive impact of AI, ISAR model. The slide focuses on the second study by Bayer and colleagues published in 2025. Their research explores how artificial intelligence affects student learning using a framework called the ISAR model, which stands for inversion, substitution, augmentation, and redefinition. The study emphasized that while AI can enhance learning, it should not replace essential human elements. For example, AI should support deep learning, not just help students memorize facts. The authors caution that over-reliance on AI tools may actually reduce student engagement and critical thinking. They also argue that AI cannot replicate human abilities like ethical reasoning, creativity, and contextual understanding. Therefore, strong instructional design is crucial to ensure AI is used effectively in the classroom. Finally, the study highlights the importance of teaching transversal skills such as digital literacy, collaboration, and communication, which are essential for students to thrive in an AI-enhanced learning environment. The slides illustrate the ESAR model, which stands for Inversion, Substitution, Augmentation, and Redefinition. It was introduced in the study by Bayer et al. 2025 to analyze how AI impacts cognitive learning processes. Inversion refers to using AI to reverse traditional roles. For example, student generating questions while AI provides feedback. Substitution involves replacing conventional tools with AI, like using ChatGPT instead of textbooks. Augmentation enhances learning by offering personalized support such as adaptive quizzes or writing suggestions. Redefinition is the most transformative stage, where AI enables entirely new learning experiences that were previously impossible, like real-time simulation or AI-driven peer collaboration. The model emphasizes that while AI can support learning, it must be integrated thoughtfully. Without strong instructional design, there's a risk of promoting surface-level engagement rather than deep, meaningful learning. In these slides, I discuss the third study by Kimons and colleagues published in 2025. Their research explores how generative AI and big data are shaping educational technology trends. They analyzed over 11,000 articles from 98 journals, combining academic sources like Scopus with public platforms such as YouTube. This approach helped bridge the gap between research and real-world classroom practices. One of the key findings is that tools like ChatGPT and LLM are becoming central in both educational research and practice. These tools are not only being studied but are also actively used by educators to design lessons and analyze trends. However, the study also raises concern. The rise the rise of AI-generated content brings challenges related to academic integrity and content quality. To address this, the authors emphasize the need for institutional policies, ethical guidelines, and digital literacy training for both teachers and students. Overall, this study highlights the dual role of AI as a tool for research and as subject of studies, and call for responsible, well-regulated use of these technologies in education practice. In evaluating the three studies, several key themes emerged that highlight both the promise and the complexity of integrating AI in education. First, all three studies emphasize the transformative potential of AI to enhance learning through personalization, engagement, and data-driven insight. However, this potential must be guided by ethical frameworks and human oversight. AI should support, not replace educators, ensuring the learning remains meaningful and responsible. The research also stresses the importance of strong instructional design. Without it, AI tools risk promoting surface level learning rather than fostering deep understanding and critical thinking. Another major theme is the growing significance of generative AI tools like ChatGPT and LLM. These tools are becoming central in both educational research and classroom practice. Finally, the studies highlight the urgent needs for institutional regulation and digital literacy training to ensure that AI is used ethically, effectively, and equitably across diverse learning environments. Now that we have critically evaluated the three studies, it is important to reflect on their limitations and identify areas for future research. First, the study by Teller et al. Used a small convenience-based sample and rely on the Delphi method. While this approach gathered expert insight, it may limit the generalizability of the findings and introduce bias due to consensus-driven response. Similarly, Bayer et al. Studies, although conceptually rich, lacks empirical validation. It proposes a strong theoretical framework, the ESA model, but more evidence is needed to support its claim in real-world classroom setting. Across all studies, there is a shared concern about the over-reliance on AI tools. This could potentially reduce student engagement and critical thinking, especially if AI is used as a substitute rather than a supplement to human instruction. Another major limitation is the risk of bias and misinformation in AI-generated content. This issue remains underexplored and poses ethical challenges for educators and institutions. Looking ahead, future research should incorporate student and teachers' perspectives to better reflect classroom realities. We also need longitudinal studies to assess the long-term effects of AI on learning outcomes. Additionally, exploring how AI is applied across diverse educational contexts, such as different age groups, discipline, and cultural setting, will help us understand its broader impact. Finally, there's a pressing need to address ethical concern and develop evidence-based instructional designs that integrate AI responsibly and equitably. So, in conclusion, artificial intelligence holds tremendous potential to transform education by enabling personalized learning, improving engagement, and supporting data-driven decision-making. However, realizing this potential requires more than just advanced technology. It demands ethical responsibility, inclusive access, and effective teaching practices. The studies review consistently emphasize the importance of human oversight, strong instructional design, and institutional support to ensure AI is used responsibly and meaningfully in educational settings. Looking ahead, future research should focus on understanding student perspective, evaluating the long-term effect of AI on learning, and addressing potential biases in AI-generated content. These steps are essential to ensure that AI enhances, not hinders, of their educational outcomes. So to support the analysis argument presented in this review, I drawn some of the recent and credible sources. These include peer-reviewed journal articles and empirical study published between 2021 and 2025. The references listed here reflect the key research that inform my understanding of generative AI, its implementation in education, and the ethical, cognitive, and practical considerations surrounding its use. These sources not only provide evidence for the points discussed, but also highlight the growing academic interest in how AI is shaping the future of teaching and learning. Thank you so much.